What's good with the YouTube? A convict's perspective. It's your boy Flacco, along with Senor Rojo, coming live and direct with a little bit of energy.
Throwing up them peace signs.
Hey, there you go. And on today's episode, man, but as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, man, we're going to be discussing an interesting topic, man. Ro pulled up an interesting case about an individual I particularly know. I know a little bit about this individual. I think he's been removed 2 times while he was in Santa Rita. Go ahead, Ro. Take it from here.
All right, man. I'm going to bring up this case, man, because not a lot of people are familiar with it. I wasn't familiar with it myself. And, everybody knows about Black Widow. Everybody knows about, the 92, 93 thing, when the homies got the death penalty and so on, Red Wave, Crimson Tide. But this one's real interesting, man. I stumbled across it one day doing some research, man. And this is directly from the Department of Justice, U.S. Attorney's Office. It was released in November of last year. And it's in regards to Johnny Magdaleno, also known as Soldier Boy. Now, this is direct court transcripts right here. And this is, I usually don't read stuff to you guys because we don't like to do that, man. But I'm going to make an exception in this case, man, because, there's a lot of important details and a lot of things you might catch in what I say that'll make you go, oh, no wonder. Okay, so bear with me. All right. Johnny Magdaleno, also known as Soldier Boy, was sentenced today to 30 years in prison for his federal RICO conspiracy conviction, announced United States Attorney David L. Anderson and Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent in Charge Craig D. Fair. Magdaleno was a high-ranking Norteño gang member who orchestrated and participated in multiple attempted murders in the Monterey County Jail. Now, bear in mind, anytime you use a weapon during a removal, whether it's just if you're just not even going for taking the victim all the way out, it's an attempted murder. You guys know
that. And what they usually try to do that is they charge you with attempted murder. And what they do is they lower the case to assault with a deadly weapon with great bodily injury.
And then they hit you with the gang enhancement.
And they add the gang enhancements, man. And they add you like 5-10 years just based upon this gang enhancement. That's how the district attorneys play the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of cases like that, man. For example, sorry to veer off topic real quick, but like if you get caught with a firearm nowadays, they're going to get you with ex-felon in possession of firearm. And what's even worse, believe it or not, is possession of ammunition by an ex-felon. And then they're going to give you're going to end up with 5 charges for one incident, man. And it's just a game they play. But anyway, back to the story. Magdaleno, 33, of Salinas, pleaded guilty on February 13th of 2020 to a RICO conspiracy charge and admitted in his plea agreement to being a member of the Nuestra Familia / Salinas Norteños, known legally as an enterprise.
Hold on. What people don't understand, right, is anytime you're under a federal indictment with a gang enhancement, in order to plead guilty, you have to admit that you were part of that organization. I remember years ago when Skip took his deal and took the 14 years, he admitted to being a member of the organization. I think they call it an allocution or something like that.
That is. I was just trying to think of it. That's it.
And so it doesn't mean that he told, but he told on himself basically when he pled guilty to these charges and admitted his participation in organized crime. That's why a lot of mob members, and it's frowned upon for 2 reasons, right? To take deals because you're admitting to conspiracy and it gives credibility to all the other cases, man. That's why for so many years, when Operation Black Widow, I don't mean to venture out, but I think it's real important. The reason why they took their deals in around 2004, Corny, Pinky, and all them, was to give Happy, Bird, Spider, and Stork all action again 10, 12 years. Because for years, they were not allowed to take any deals. And that's why you had a lot of people who were falling out of favor in Black Widow because they were in there and they were being offered 10, 12 years. But the directions that were coming from brass was that they were not to take no deals.
Yeah, no doubt. And those guys were already sitting on life sentences anyway. So I mean the planning and the strategy in that move is cool. But you're also dictating whether other people can go home or not, man. So it's questionable. You know what I mean? The strategy makes sense, but it's still questionable. Back to the story, ladies and gentlemen. The enterprise consisted of members and associates of the Nuestra Familia prison gang, as well as Norteño street gangs in Salinas and the surrounding areas. Norteño gang members pledge their allegiance and loyalty to the NF and are instructed on its rules, rituals, and obligations. Members agree to commit crimes such as murder, narcotics trafficking, and other acts of violence as a pattern of their racketeering activity. Gang rules and discipline are maintained by threatening and assaulting those individuals who violate the rules or pose a threat to the organization. Inside prisons and jails, all members and associates of Nuestra Familia and the Norteños work together to maintain the structure and follow the rules of this enterprise. So Magdaleno, in his plea agreement, admitted that while he was in jail, he conspired with enterprise members to commit murder by approving removals of inmates as a means of enforcing the gang's most important rules. The term removal refers to a weapon-based assault designed to remove from both the custodial housing unit and the gang itself a member of the gang who committed a serious violation of that group's rules. A removal is accomplished by having one or more hitters stab the victim and then having at least two bombers assault the target by punching and kicking the victim. The purpose, excuse me?
So that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, no doubt, 100%. That's why I told everybody to pay attention, man, because they're giving up a lot of game right here. You know what I mean? And you know, everybody always goes back to the point, well, how do they know this? They know everything, you guys. There's no secrets. You know what I mean? It's been happening for years. The purpose of the subsequent bomber's beating is to inflict maximum injury on the victim while giving time to the hitters to wash blood off themselves and or to get rid of the weapons. Now, Magdaleno admitted that during the RICO conspiracy period, he was a high-ranking member of the Norteños group called La Casa. In that role, he had the power, authority, and responsibility to authorize removals in the Monterey County Jail. Magdaleno admitted that while he was in custody at the Monterey County Jail, he committed the following removals. December 2nd, 2012, Magdaleno orchestrated and directly participated in the removal of an inmate referred to as Victim 1 by stabbing Victim 1 in the chest and back over 20 times. Immediately thereafter, two bombers punched and kicked the victim to inflict maximum damage and to allow Magdaleno to escape from being caught with the stabbing weapon by guards. On February 25th of 2013, Magdaleno orchestrated and directly participated in the removal of Victim 2 by first giving marijuana to the victim so that he would let his guard down, and then stabbing the victim in the head with a shank made from an electrical outlet plate sharpened into a stabbing instrument. Three bombers then punched and kicked the victim to allow Magdaleno to take the shank away. Magdaleno disposed of the shank and returned to join the bombers in beating Victim 2.
He's a little sad, huh?
He didn't even try to get back to his house and pretend like he was asleep or nothing. No, he was with it. On October 29th of 13, Magdaleno orchestrated the removal of Victim 3 by falsely assuring him that he would not be harmed if he returned to his housing pod, and by directing others also to assure the victim of his safety. During the ensuing removal, Victim 3 was stabbed in the head several times by a hitter using a metal shank and punched and kicked by bombers to allow the hitter to dispose of said shank. November 13 of 13, Magdaleno orchestrated the removal of Victim 6 that resulted in the hitter stabbing Victim 6 in the head, torso, and arms approximately 10 times, and two bombers setting upon the victim, punching and kicking him. And finally, on April 14th of 14, Magdaleno orchestrated and directly participated in the removal of Victim 7 in the Monterey County Jail main yard by stabbing the inmate in the head and thereafter joining two bombers in punching and kicking the victims. Now you see, you know, usually after the initial person does his business with a tool, their role in the matter's done. This guy was flushing his stuff and coming back. Like, that's interesting to me, man. Usually you would think he would be trying to get away.
Not only that, places where he was hitting the dude, he was trying to hit the dudes in the head.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't playing around, man. If he was on a leadership position, as he claims, as they say, and he's partaking in all these movidas, it has, I mean, that means he was leading by example.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of times you don't see that. A lot of times people want to be in positions, they want to call that shot, and they want to safeguard themselves, and what the excuse is, oh, I'm a leadership position. You know what I'm saying? It seems like he was taking action and leading by example as a soldier. He lived up to his name, most definitely.
Yeah, I've never, I've participated and been involved in numerous removals, and never have I been any I've involved in or seen has the person with the tool to make initial contact came back into the melee. Have you?
I've seen it when they hit Lucky Mendoza, Top hit him, flushed it, and then came back, but it was with an RB.
Where's Top from?
Top was from Vallejo.
That's what I thought. Okay, all right.
Top was with the business, man. That dude has a reputation, man. So
yeah, I heard.
You know what I mean? He was with it. He's older now, but man, I've seen. You know what I mean? He puts it down, man. Like, he ain't no joke.
Yeah, the ultimate goal in being the first to make contact is to dispose of the tool you used, and as well as assure your safety, because you're the one looking at the most charges. You're looking at a life sentence.
Well, he kind of had no choice, because I mean, the way they kind of orchestrated. First of all, I talked about this move before. It was a C getting hit, so I always kind of questioned. You know what I mean? Like, I always thought that a C was supposed to be hit by another C. But I guess there could be some exceptions if there's no one present. You know what I mean? But there was actually 3 C's there, so there was always someone that could have did it. But the way that they did it, man, like, you know what I mean? After you hit him, the little homeboy Willow was a short homeboy, so he's like 5 foot tall. So of course Top had to get back in that, man. But they ended up removing him pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy. It's just rare, though. You know what I mean? Because your role's over after that initial contact. Your role's supposed to be over, and your attempt is to get away. Dispose of evidence and ensure your own, safety as far as the district attorney goes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, nowadays, man, on all these yards, they got cameras.
Yeah, you're busted now.
You do a hit, man, on a yard. I mean, there's no way you're gonna beat it, man. And I mean, that's the message for the kids out there to understand. Whether you're in the county jail, some county jails have cameras, some don't. But in prison, I mean, we did a removal. They had every camera angle on that yard.
Yeah.
Watch the hit.
Yeah, they had it in 3D.
And it depends. I mean, that's, so nowadays when people are doing their regalas, they're getting caught, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not playing around with little flatbacks no more, little tomahawks, man. They're coming in with some metal.
Yeah, especially ever since them gentlemen got out of the shoe back in 2012, it's really changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so about this indictment, man, we heard about the hits, we heard about the allegations, but it goes on to further state that Magdaleno and 14 other Norteño gang members were indicted by a federal grand jury September 27th of 18. They were charged with 1 count of a RICO racketeering conspiracy, which is United States Code 1962D, 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder in aid of racketeering. Oh, that's a rough one. And that's 1959A5. And 1 count of conspiracy to commit assault with a dangerous weapon in aid of racketeering. In addition, some of the defendants, but not Magdaleno, were charged with attempted murder in aid of racketeering in violation of U.S. Code 1959 and assault with a dangerous weapon code in 1959A. All right. When this came out in November of last year, at this time, it was just a few months ago, 11 of the charged defendants have already pleaded guilty and 9 have been sentenced. 4 defendants remain scheduled for trial, set to commence August 30th of 2021. So there's still a lot going on here with these last 4 guys that, that are taking their stuff to the box, man. At this point, it looks like they're taking it to the box, but you never know. Each of the 11 defendants listed below pleaded guilty to a RICO conspiracy. And we got Johnny Magdalena, Soldier Boy, got Rodney Lewis Ramiro, also known as Speedy. He hasn't been sentenced yet. Soldier Boy got 30 years. Raymond Montoya, also known as Ray Ray, got 10 years. Michael James Rice, known as Redwood, got 156 months. Alejo Aligre IV got 10 years in prison. He goes by Chino. Carlos Cervantes, known as Little Wedo, got 10 years. Alberto Moreno, also known as Doughboy, got 7. Stephen Anthony Dorado got 7. They call him Castro. Jeffrey Lopez, known as T-Bone, got 7. Juan Alvarez, Chucky, hasn't been sentenced yet, and Eric Lopez, who goes by Bimbo, received 10 years. Now, the sentence from in Magdalena specifically was handed down in U.S. District Court following a guilty plea on one count of engaging in a racketeering conspiracy. Now, listen to this: 30 years for one count of engaging in a conspiracy. These charges ain't no joke, man, and they're real easy to come by once you join a gang. Judge Freeman sentenced the defendant to a 5-year period of supervised release following his release from prison or whatnot. But you know, this is another one of those big sweeps, man. It was the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, Salinas PD, Monterey County Sheriff's, Highway Patrol, and CDC, Department of Corrections, and CDCR, SSU, Special Service Unit. You know, so the reason that we talk about these indictments is because, look, say I'm out there running the regiment. You're just a little northerner. You ain't been to the pen. I give you some work. You go out there and start putting in work. Well, because I am what I am, and you report to me, the government sees you that you are what I am now, and you are going to get that RICO. You never been in trouble, and now you're looking at 30 years for one count.
Man, they were doing RICO acts, state RICO cases, right, with gang enhancements for rosters.
Yeah,
Getting caught with hot paperwork. I mean, that's why you have so much changes now in the county jail, to where if they have any hot paperwork, it can't be out, or any pieces, and they're supposed to flush it or fight before so they can flush it, man, because of the risk now. They ain't playing around, man.
Yeah.
What's kind of interesting is Monterey County has had a lot of indictments. This isn't the only one. You know what I'm saying? They've had the Skates case, which is currently going on. I'm not going to discuss that because he's still fighting a death penalty case, man. You had Chente Garcia was there as well. And so it's interesting that right now Santa Rita has been flooded with a lot of people from Salinas because they're all coming out federal indictments. But what was a trip on it is this: a few of them have been removed. We know about Chente. Chente got removed, I think, twice. Yeah, we know he just got recently removed.
Yeah.
And Soldier Boy's been removed like 2 or 3 times, man. Still keeps on coming back. So it's kind of a trip how like you get taken out of your element, and because you're loyal to one side, whatever side you may be loyal to, you're getting removed.
Hey, in your opinion, bro, you know, this is a perspective channel, man. So in your perspective, man, as far as admitting to all the removals and stuff you've done, and I know it says victim 1A and I know it says bombers, I wouldn't think that, you know, as part of a deal that the government would be satisfied unless you release the names of said bombers. You know what I mean? I don't think, you know what I mean?
No,
I don't think they're going to go for that.
I think with that high of a prison sentence, I don't think he's going to have to relinquish anything, man.
No.
Okay? No, especially with a name like Soldier Boy. I mean, it seemed like he was a soldier all the way through. So I don't think they would have to, man. You know what I mean? Because if that was the case, then they'd have to do it on all those light sentences during Operation Black Widow. I mean, you know, look who all got light sentence. Stork got a light sentence. What's his name? Spider got a light sentence. Happy got a light sentence. Bird, all them cats got light sentences. You know, they didn't have to sit there and talk about the conspiracy for drug cases. They didn't have to talk about where they got the dope from.
Yeah.
Or who they gave it to. You know what I mean? So I really doubt. The feds kind of operates different, man. And right now, that's the state government now, as far as the local governments, they've learned that they can give these people more times on federal enhancements. And when the feds comes for you, they got all the money in the back to take you to trial and wrap you up. And they're not trying to do no plea deals. Only way they're doing any plea deals is if you're fully cooperating. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I just don't see how you're taking a deal at 30 years. I mean, that's not really no deal. I mean, that you got to bring 24, 25, 26 years on that. You know what I mean? Like,
man, you had people taking 40 years, man. I think your ex Sally, Wino, Gaelos, I think he took 46 years just for drug conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? Just for drug conspiracy, bro.
And let's go back one more time. This is an important thing, man. You could be high ranking. You could be never been to the county jail, but you're working with the homies because you got that bag and you know they want to work with you, and now you're working. Okay, if you're a regular John Doe and you're not in that gang, You get busted possession of sales, you might get 16, 2, and 3. If you got a bunch, you might end up with 5, 7 years. Add that RICO conspiracy to that. Add the gang enhancement if it's at a state level. You're washed, man. Washed. There's no get back.
Yeah.
And then you either got to eat that or your career is over because you made a deal.
Or you could be put in a situation to where they offer you a cool deal. I know Spider Fabella did that in his last case in 2012. He was telling people first of all, they couldn't bail out if they could. Second of all, he was telling people no deals. And then he was the first one to take a deal when the opportunity came. You know what I'm saying? So here you are, you had certain individuals being offered time, but basically what it does is you have to admit to the crime. You have to admit to the conspiracy that you were part of an organization. So it's a no-win situation. It's the same thing with the Italian mob. They had all those issues to where when they would take certain deals, they'd have to admit to it. So it's better off most of them taking it to trial. You know, that allocution or whatever it is, you have to sit there and admit a criminal conspiracy that you were part of an organization. That's the only way the feds take that deal.
Hey, and you know what else, man, is like once you admit you're a member, you know, and they go back and they're like, okay, well, this dude was participating in these crimes too. Well, now they got that link with your allocution that they know that you're a gang member, essentially. You know what I mean? That they like say you're dealing with me, you're not in no organization, but now that I've made this deal, the government's already going to say that you knew I was in this organization, and they're going to come at you just like you were a member. Period.
Yeah.
There's when it comes to them RICOs, there's no Norteños, there's no NF, there's just you're fucked.
Yeah. I mean, how would that work though, Ro? I mean, think about it. If someone's sitting there, like, if you really just made some key points right now, I'm thinking about it, man. Like, you're not supposed to admit that there's ever anything at all. So in order for a lot of people who took deals, they had to sit there and go into court and have to admit to it. That's part of a federal deal. There's no way around it. They want that statement. You know what I mean?
And that's just that's one way to just start tying other people in to that organization.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a back door. You know, I mean, they're going to do it how they're going to do it anyway, but that just makes their job easier. You know, I
mean, most of them have it tattooed all over their backs and their chests and anything anyway, so there's kind of no denying it. So I don't see the harm in doing it. I mean, you know, common sense, they know. I mean, they know who's who or who's working with what. I mean, the government knows a lot more than the average person out there on the streets, and that's a fact. They know all the inner workings. They know. Sometimes the government will know more than some Cat 1 and Cat 2 sees of what's really going on, man.
Undoubtedly.
You'd be shocked at how much information that they know.
Undoubtedly.
Or they've gathered.
Dude, you got to figure that they've dealt with 50 people who have walked away, you know, that are way more knowledgeable than you or I, and collected all their information. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth, bro.
And that's they're trained. They're kind of trained in the sense like how we're trained to retain information. How to conduct investigations, how to probe into matters. That's their, and they have all the right. They don't have to write this in Wheeler form and store it in their Hulu. They got all these computers where they could just process things and just pull it right up and find everything out about whoever they want to find out about.
Yeah, and just hey, if you're in the damn FBI and you know you don't got the manpower, but you're part of this investigation. Hey, Monterey Sheriff's Department. Hey, Salinas. Can you guys go check this out? They got so many resources, bro, that it's not even fair, bro. When the feds come for you, it's over. It's over. Yeah. It's a done deal.
At least he's now in the feds, man, because I know personally, I mean, you know, we're discussing this case, guys, because it's a closed case. It's already been dealt with. Like I said before, he's been removed a couple of times in Santa Rita. And honestly, I don't know what for. I don't know if it has to do with him and Chente being loyal to the feds or what. That's what I'm going to presume. You know what I'm saying? So that's an interesting story in itself, man.
And that's a disclaimer right there. That's a presumption. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For all you disclaimers.
I do know he's been removed. I do know he's been removed a couple times. Now I do know that for a fact, man. I've been told that specifically that he was. I never got the details, but it was to be told was because of his loyalty to the feds. Just like the same thing with Chente. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's been removed a couple times. You know?
Yeah. All right, YouTube, man. We wanted to bring that one to your attention, man, just so you could catch these amounts of time you get for conspiring. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting case, man. I mean, there's a whole lot
Crazy.
of stuff in there, man. Like there's a, when you start to do research and checking these cases, man, especially when you know these people, man, like some of these cats I'd be knowing, I'm like, man, I can't believe that they're going through that, man. Like, looking at that much time, like Chante and Nicoya, Wino, Bubba, all these dudes, man, like just for conspiracy cases, man, just because they had a title to their name. It had nothing to do with who they were.
Yeah.
It was what they were.
Yeah, not even so much with the crime either. One last thing, Flacco, that I wanted. Damn, I lost it that quick. Oh, this can also happen in prisons and county jails. If just like this one was mostly based out of the Monterey County Jail, but what I'm talking about is just something as simple as getting that bag, slanging. You got a couple people in the same group that are moving work throughout that jail, they'll RICO you.
Oh yeah, man. Most
It's
definitely.
over. It doesn't have to be you try to book somebody. It's simple. And you're going to be expected to participate in things like this. Just saying.
You hit. All right, YouTube, it's your boy Flacco, man. We're going to end this topic for the day, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. Just a little bit breakdown, man. Just some food for your thought, man. We're going to be touching base on a whole lot of different cases, man, and give you our perspective, man. And this one was kind of interesting, man. It was out there. It was something that was kind of simplified, and just the actions of this dude, man, like, and just to get that much time, man. I mean, he was out there handling his business, man, without a doubt.
All right, you guys, man, we'll see you again tomorrow, man. Have a good rest of your day.